Right. So, Alia, welcome to the show. It's incredible. It's amazing. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, what better way to have an epic Sunday with someone as epic as you know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you. Right back
Absolutely.
at you.
Absolutely. So, yeah. So, jumping in straight to the interview. Let's go back in time here a little bit and tell me where the journey begins.
Well, I think I think much to my parents' chagrin, acting has always been something that I've been interested in. And I'll say that I came by it honestly as well because my dad is an actor and my mom used to be a musical theater actress. She's a teacher now, but
Cool.
it was just a part of my upbringing, and I was always introduced to new films, and I used to go see plays with my dad. So it was something, a world that I was always part of, and I always wanted to fall deeper and deeper into. And I was always drawn to it. I feel like as a kid, it took me a while to find true friends, and I was bullied a bit when I was younger too, and I found that I escaped a lot of the time into film,
Yeah.
and I loved it, and I wanted to learn more about it and to do it. And I used to put on like little little plays or reenact. I loved the movie Matilda as a kid, and I used to reenact that, or just different snippets from shows or movies or plays, and would perform them at the house all the time. So I think I was just bitten by the bug, and it's been with me my whole life, you know?
Absolutely. That's awesome. And also,
Yeah.
yeah, Matilda was a really cool film. I remember back when I was little, that was one of the, yeah, like the favorite ones. Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they're making a musical version of it now too, so that should be exciting.
Yeah.
But the classic
Absolutely.
one, oh my God, I remember too, like really always focusing on things and being like, if I believe, if I believe hard enough, I can move this with my mind. It
Yeah, absolutely.
never
One of
happened for me, unfortunately, but
Yeah, yeah. Like one of my dreams back then was to move stuff with my fingers.
yeah,
It didn't
right?
happen too. Dang it.
I mean, who knows? Who knows what the future holds, you
Who
know?
knows? You know, a couple of years I saw this video that they made up, in which a gold retriever was with the soundtrack of Matilda moving stuff with her paws. That was hilarious. I loved it. I was like, yeah, I can't stand that.
My
Absolutely.
heart. Like my two favorite things.
Yeah, yeah.
Dogs
It
and
was super
Matilda.
cool. But like the fact that I mean that you mentioned that you were yeah bullied, but you managed to pull that through and to continue on. That's pretty
Mm,
cool because I do think that sometimes, I mean, I was bullied too back when I was little, and I get it. The whole that at the end you just want to be part of it. You just want to
yeah.
be part of it, be on your own, have a good one. But the fact that they will treat you differently because I don't know your looks or the way you talk, or because they think in their heads that you are weird because you're not as them, they will like outcast you and treat you as an outsider. So yeah, I get it. It's horrible, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I think that that kind of builds your character. Like later on, you start to
Totally.
understand things like that. So
Yeah, 100%. And I think, as unfortunate as it is, it's quite common when I talk to friends or even have conversations or listen to different podcasts. I feel like at some point or another, people have experienced some form of bullying, you know, and it's never
yeah,
pleasant when you're going through it. But yeah, like you said, I think you grow so much from those experiences, and you learn a lot, and you toughen up a bit, which I
absolutely.
think having a thick skin in this industry is very helpful because there's so much rejection. So um, just training from a young age. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. And tell me, like, focusing a little bit more here on your acting career. Tell me, like, how you prepare a character. Now, of course, that I understand that depends on the role, but
Mhm.
like, what is your approach on? Yeah, like, what is your approach on starting this character creation process?
Ooh. Like you said, I think it depends on the type of character you're playing. If there's one that feels quite similar to you, it's easier to slip into that role and become that person. But if there's a character you're playing that's vastly different from who you are in terms of upbringing or lifestyle or personality, Sometimes I find it very beneficial to do the work and the research. So be it maybe if you know somebody who is similar to the character, and chatting with them about it and trying to learn from them or mirror them to an extent, or you can read books or watch movies as well to help you better understand that world. Um, one of my acting professors told me something a while back, which I think was the most beneficial piece of advice I'd ever been given, which was to be a good actor, you need to live. So to experience life and live and do everything, meet all the different kinds of characters there are, experience life, try different foods, because you never know what character you're going to be playing and how you'll be able to connect or relate to them. But the more you're able to do in your life, the better you'll be at portraying somebody else, you know? So I try to just live and experience things. But yeah, I think it's different depending on who I am supposed to be, but it's a really fun process, you know?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. I found that super interesting, and also the fact that like when you're playing the character, the audience will remember like the character. I mean, of course that you're. I mean, you're basically your body is the instrument for the character. So I find pretty cool the fact sometimes the audience will call actors by the name of their characters. You know, that they got used to it. You know, that this is this guy. You know, not the real person. This is this guy, and they will come up and try to say things on the film, things like that. And besides, and I mean, also I do think that it's super cool because you're basically letting part of yourself into someone else. You know, for how many years now? So.
Of course, yeah. I think De Niro had said something along the lines of one of the reasons he really enjoyed acting was because it allowed you to experience life and walk in somebody else's shoes, but without having to deal with the consequences of being that person. So it's really a beautiful thing to be able to experience life in so many different ways and play a multitude of characters. You know, it again makes the world feel that much smaller because you can kind of see how each individual person goes through and moves through their life, you know, and it allows you to live your life in so many different ways, you know. It's always different and exciting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dustin Hoffman has a really fun exercise, and I've done it with friends before, and it's also kind of helpful for finding characters. He was saying that he used to do it when you would walk down the street and pass by people. You would kind of analyze how they carried themselves or how they walked, if they had a limp or if they had a little pep in their step. And you would assess them, and then as soon as you pass them, you would take on their walk and their physicality. So you would embody how they carry themselves through the streets until you pass somebody new. And as you were approaching them, you would study how they walked and then shift and change. And it's a really fun, I'm sure if you're watching it from an outside perspective, you might look crazy, but it's really fun to do and to get out of your body and into somebody, not to, that sounds bad, but like learn how to carry yourself as though you're somebody else, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've also like some of the actors that I've interviewed. One told me that what they do to create a character is to basically go on the subway. You know, they will go on subway, and that eventually your character will arrive. So they would just sit there, watch people, and eventually the character you're looking, it's there. You're like, I got it.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's so interesting, like how many, like how everybody has like their own thing to kind of start on this. You know, to kind of connect the dots to start. So I found that pretty cool and very creative at the same time. The fact that they will do so many different things, you know, because it also it also shows you that there is like no specific path you need to do. You know, there's like multiple you can choose from here, or even create your own eventually. So yeah,
totally. You can take bits and pieces from all the people you see and combine them, and then add a bit of your own flair.
Yeah, it is super cool. It's awesome. And tell me, like, what has been your worst audition ever?
Oy, how much time you got? No, I'm kidding. I remember I had to do one. It was a commercial audition. And I can't even remember what the product was for, but I remember I showed up and I was supposed to massage a basketball. And I went to massage it, but every time you touched it, because it's circular, it was on a flat surface, it was like rolling away. So I was trying to like play. It was awful. It was a train wreck. And I booked it. No, I'm kidding. I definitely did not book it. But yeah, it was a pretty painful experience. But I feel like because when you experience things like that, it sets a new rock bottom almost when you
Mm.
audition. So it changes things when you go in and you're like, oh well, at least it wasn't the massaging the basketball audition, like I
Totally.
survived, I'm good. So
Totally.
that was
That's
probably my worst
the
audition.
worst one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so cool. Yeah, I found it cool, but at the same time, like wondering like why in commercials they will ask you to do like so many weird stuff.
So
That.
many weird things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I remember there was one audition one audition a while ago. Like this was when I was with like an older
Mm.
agent when I had first started out, and I was really sick, and I couldn't go to this audition, and I had given them about like 24 hours notice because I was feeling fluish. And my agent was so mad at me. And the audition was a commercial audition to pretend like I was running from a hot dog cart that I ended up getting crushed by.
Okay.
The commercial world just feels so different. So different. But it's so funny.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've
There's
discovered
humor
that
in it,
too. Yeah, they will ask you to do so many weird stuff, or yeah, like
The
it's so
craziest thing.
yeah, it's totally different that if you're auditioning for a film or a TV show for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like and I'm sure with time and with practice it becomes easier, but I know friends of mine who knock it out of the park, who love commercial auditions, and they're booking and booking and booking, and I just clam up. Like I get so because like the tasks or what you have to do is sometimes a little awkward, and I'm
Mm.
already awkward. It doesn't bode well. So I've just taken myself out of the commercial audition pool, and I prefer to be able to like sink my teeth into characters or different worlds where I can actually
Totally.
like figure out what makes them tick, and yeah, not try to massage a basketball,
Yeah, that's
you know?
weird, and also the fact that like when you're watching the commercials, I mean, I love watching them because they're hilarious. Like for
Yeah.
example, some of the reactions they would do, right? If they're like eating something, and they like super. I mean, I get it that it's how it's part of the gig, but I just love it whenever they're like reacting or like doing this type of stuff in which you're like nobody will massage a basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Nobody.
exactly. I remember there was one that I did as well. This was probably up there for being one of my worst auditions. And I think it was for like a mouthwash or something, but they got us to gargle a bunch of different times, but then they wanted us to try to like talk through gargling, and then when you gargle, like your face is kind of pointing upwards,
Totally.
right? They
Mm.
wanted us to gargle and still make the gargling noise, but like look straight at camera. And I'm pretty sure my audition was just me drooling on myself for like 5 minutes. And it was horrendous. And again, didn't book that one, but have a great story from it.
That's
And had really
awesome.
fresh breath after. So can't complain.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's pretty cool. I bet you have like thousands of up on those stories, isn't it?
Pardon me?
Yeah, yeah. That I bet that you have like thousands of stories like that.
Yes.
I love
Yeah.
it.
All
I love
It's
it.
funny when you talk to actors, all of us have
Yeah, I love it.
our interesting.
Yeah, yeah. But as I said, I mean, I find that very awesome. Like the fact that you get like, especially like on commercials, as we were saying, and they will ask you to do like so many weird stuff. Or for example, I want like once told me that they were doing this they were doing this commercial for a cinnamon roll. Yeah,
Okay.
and that they were like constantly eating the cinnamon roll over and over and over and over and over until it got to a point that they were like spitting already because they were like done. I'm like, I don't want to eat this for the rest of my life. So I was
Ugh.
like wondering like how many times will that happen to you, right? That you have to promote yeah, some like food, like yeah, like food itself, and you have to do that take because I mean you don't do a commercial in one take. I bet. I mean it usually takes more than one take.
Definitely
So
not. Yeah.
imagine like having to eat the same thing over and over and over and over. I mean, I get it that at some point you're like disgusted about it, be like, yeah, I don't want to do. I don't want to eat it anymore. So
Yeah. And also how many, because you think with continuity as well, how many they would have to have on hand so it looks like the same cinnamon bun. You know what I mean?
totally.
So there's not a bite out of it. So they're constantly replacing it and changing it. And It's really cool, actually. I don't know if you've seen, they have some behind the scenes of how food commercials are shot, and how sometimes it's not even like maple syrup. It's like gasoline or oil. That's not gasoline, oil that's
Yeah, I
poured on
guess that will be kind of okay.
pancakes.
Yeah, totally.
But it's really cool. So like half the time when they're shooting food commercials, which is crazy, it's not even edible things that you're seeing to
Totally.
make it look beautiful. But yeah, it's, I mean, actors will eat, we eat real stuff. We're not
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
eating.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
gasoline
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Yeah, totally, totally. I get it. Yeah, nobody. Yeah, I no. Don't try put gasoline on your pancakes.
Yes, no, that's the
Yeah,
takeaway from this podcast.
yeah. I mean, yeah. Don't do
What
it.
I'm here for.
Yeah, yeah. But I find that cool. I find that cool. Like, yeah, I do want some the behind the scenes, for example, for the pizza stuff. You know that they will add some glue on it as well to kind of make it look like cheese like super impossible. You know, like people putting like
Yeah.
all that cheese that. Let me just tell you that I'm one of the type of people that whenever I will order something, I want to make sure that looks like the picture, which of course I never get it.
No.
Never. And even though I have tried it, like whenever they will promote that this lasagna, if you cook it, it's gonna look like this, and I will like work myself to make that happen. Still not. I mean, not even look close. I'm like, okay,
Never, right?
yeah, that's horrible.
It's always like
Anyway.
it's seen some things.
Like
It's gone through
perhaps
life.
perhaps some gasoline, right? Some
Yeah,
gasoline.
exactly.
Is the key on it. Yeah, I got it. I love it. I love it. And let's say that one day I call you and I tell you that I want to become an actor.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have any experience at all, like zero. Perhaps the only acting role that I have was back in high school. I only had one line, and guess what? I screw it, of course. Absolutely. Um, so based on what you know and your experience, what advice could you give to someone who doesn't know anything about acting, who only had one line, one role for a drama play, and turn it out into a comedy one because of his mistake? But suddenly he's like, you know what? I'm in my 30s now. I recently turned 30. I want to start this acting journey. What advice would you give to me?
I would say go for it. I think it depends whether or not someone is wanting to pursue it because they love it, or because they like the idea of fame and success and that aspect of things that can sometimes go along with it.
Totally.
But if it's a genuine interest in the art form, or if it's wanting to inspire people or make people feel the same way performances have impacted and affected you, 100% go for it. If you have a story that you want to share, do it. We need your voice. I will definitely hype people up and tell them to pursue what they love, without a doubt, all the time. And I don't think it matters if you had one line in a play and you flubbed it, because we've all been there many a times. And even if you're on top, you can probably still flub your line the next week, you know. But you got to go for what you love. Life's too short, you know.
Preach on that. I tell you what, if I become an actor and I get an Oscar, I'll be mentioning you in my thank you speech.
I'm holding you to it.
You can count on that, and I'm gonna make sure that everyone like follows you after. Like, make sure to follow her. You know.
Thank you. That's
Absolutely.
sweet.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, it's amazing, and yeah, I mean, at the end, as you mentioned, the fact that we only have one life, and I do think that we should live it the way we want it, and I also think that we come to this world for something. But of course, I mean, it's up to you to discover what is that something, and once you discover it, now work for it. You know, because I mean, it would be awesome. Let's say that if you want to do something, just do this and everything. I mean, that would be amazing. Like, but of course not. Still, you need to work hard. But yeah, because like one day we're gonna be all old, you know. And
Definitely.
what is the like what you did, you know, like did you really enjoy your life? Like I do think that like when you get to that time of your life, and I've seen it, you know, like with family members that some of them will have regrets and some of them not at all. So I want to be, at least to me, I want to be like one of those people who say like I did what I wanted, you know. I mean, perhaps for somebody else wasn't enough, but to me was, you know. I had fun, I enjoyed it. Now I can go and rest in peace, instead of saying, you know, like the typical like I couldn't, like I wasted my life. I couldn't done this instead of that. When when I got this idea, I should have go for it instead of, you know, don't do it, you know.
Yeah, of course. I think there's nothing scarier, right, than like settling in your life in terms of career, in terms of relationships, what have you, and then ending things off and always wondering like, what if? Who could I
Totally.
have been if I had done this? I think if you have a spark for something, or your gut's telling you to pursue something, or you're passionate about it, you have to explore it, you know?
Totally. Absolutely. And of course that it will be scary because it's something new. And
Definitely.
perhaps your family members or even like your inner circle might telling you that maybe it's not a good idea. But I think that why not trying it? Perhaps yeah, perhaps it wasn't a very good idea, but at least you can take it out of your system and say like I already did it. Now I can
Yeah.
try something else instead of having this constant idea that why I haven't done this, or why I haven't tried this because I mean, you ended up. I mean, time goes fast. Like I
Yeah.
remember that on my 29th birthday, close to turn 30, I was basically just like on my breaking point because I was like, dude, like I'm about to turn 30. What the hell I have done with my life? Like where my
Yeah.
20s, are. Like it all just went like in a sniff. So after that, I was like, you know what? Yeah, this has to be like my time to kind of recoup all of that lost time and actually do something that I do enjoy instead of following somebody else's path or being that
Totally.
usual or be just on that same line over and over as we were like speaking before that you go to school, you go to college one day, then you find a job, you stay there 40 years, you one day they kick you out, you're retired, and then you're old, and then for the rest of your life, you're gonna just sit in your porch and just be like, "What the hell did I do to my life?" So
Yeah.
it's crazy. And once like you think about it, it's at the same time super depressing because you're like, I mean, life goes like super fast, and and once you think of it, you're like, "Oh shit!" Because I mean, it's. I mean, let's be honest. On your daily day, you're not thinking about how much time you have. You instantly
No.
think about that you're gonna be alive for tomorrow, or for the next day, and be like, yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. But what if not? So I do think that the key is to use your time as best as you can.
100%. I completely agree with you. There's
I love it.
there's an expression, and I can't remember what it is verbatim, but it was the idea of what's scarier, actually going for something, or in 3 years' time being in the exact same place you're in
Mm,
now. And I think it's so true. Everything, there's risk involved with everything, right? But there's so much reward for the bigger risk, sorry, the bigger reward. Fortune
totally.
favors the bold is what they say. So, you know,
Yeah,
go for it.
absolutely. Go for it. Go for it. Now, let's say that one day
Yes.
Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, you name it. They call you and they tell you we wanna get this film in which basically goes that all of the characters you have played at the moment, you're gonna gather to celebrate your birthday. Tell me what would be the name of that film. By the way, characters who were also in commercials too.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All of them.
Wow. Um, that's such a tough one, eh? That's such a good question. Um, I feel like it would either be something like dysfunctional, but fun would be capitalized,
Okay.
or something along the lines of like there's been a mistake or you're not invited, something like that.
Okay. Okay. And what would it be? Would it be like a comedy, drama,
Oh,
horror?
comedy. For sure,
Okay.
comedy.
Okay.
I genuinely feel that a lot of my characters would get along and mesh well, but there's a handful, there's a few of them that
Hmm.
definitely would bring some drama and cause some shit at a party for sure. They might not
Hmm.
get along with everyone, but it would be an interesting watch for sure.
And like, on which platform would you think that they will actually take it? Disney or HBO or Netflix?
I'd want to say HBO because um I definitely don't think it's Disney. I think,
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff on Disney too, but I think HBO has more of like a grittier and
Hmm.
can be more crude at times, and I think that definitely some characters would fall into that side of things.
Okay.
So
So like more dark comedy stuff you mentioned, like
yeah,
more. Okay,
100%.
got it.
Yeah,
Okay, let's make it
totally.
happen one day. That would be cool.
Yeah, I'm Monday's completely open for me. Let's do it.
There you go. Let's start writing as soon as possible.
I'm down.
There you go. There you go. Now, let's say that
Yes.
for your birthday, you get a time machine.
Ooh.
But here's the thing: you can only use it once, and to go back in time, and to meet the 13-year-old version of yourself. So, what advice would you give to that little version of you?
Hmm. Um, wow, that's a good one. I think I would tell myself to, I guess, not be so affected by things people say or how people treat you,
Mm,
and to continue to hold my head high and go after the things I want in life, and that and that my future, or your future, our future, I guess, um, has so many beautiful opportunities awaiting, and the things that I stressed about for hours and spent so much energy on really hold no value to me now. So try to shake off everything that I'm dealing with and know that there's so much more in store for me.
totally.
And yeah, and to never, yeah, to never let that fire out within you. That didn't even make any sense. To never let anyone put your fire out, kind of deal.
Mm, mm.
You know?
Yeah, you can use gasoline to it.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I always got
Yeah,
the gasoline.
there you go. I love it.
It
Use
always comes back to gasoline, I think.
always. I mean, always make sure to have some gasoline at home. You never know.
Yes,
There you go.
exactly.
There you go. I love it. Um, now, if you could describe your whole career, but on a drink that doesn't include gasoline, by the way. Um, dang it.
You
Uh,
lost me.
which like which drink would it be? Now you could choose one that is already been made, or you can create your own.
So I think part of me wants to say Caesar, because there's always a little kick to it. It's always a bit of spice.
Okay.
And sometimes, your Caesar just has rim salt and a spicy bean, and other times you get the Caesar that's served with like the slice of pizza and a chicken wing. Like
Absolutely.
the ornate garnish and toppings.
Mm.
So I feel like a Caesar.
But how would you call it? Let's say that
Oh,
if I
I have to
go
create a
to
name?
if I go to a bar and I want to ask that drink, how can I order it?
Interesting for my career. Oh
Mm.
God.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
this might sound bad, but let's say that I want to taste your career. It sounds horrible, I know.
I'm
So
trying to
so
think of
bad.
what a name for it would be. Part of me wants to joke and say emotional roller coaster, but I feel like that sounds way, way sadder than what I'm actually trying to get at. I just
Okay.
mean that like there have been so many euphoric moments, and then
Mm.
there have been also some moments. What is it? That life is like a movie where some of them are big theatrical releases and others are just straight to DVD. That's kind of like, so it's just
Okay.
this like
Okay.
beautiful roller coaster of things, you know? It's never boring, I guess.
I like it. I will try it for sure and have
Yeah.
like this roller
Sold you
coaster of
on it?
emotion. Yeah, sold. Already sold. I love it. Now, let's say also if you could describe your whole career again, but now in a meal. So I want to have the whole package. I want to have the drink and the meal. Which meal would describe your career?
Which meal?
Yeah.
Am I making this meal up, or is it's a meal that exists?
Yeah, it's a meal that exists. Why not?
I feel like this is also a I don't know if you were to come to me tomorrow and ask that question, if it would be different. I feel like I'm answering this on a slightly hungry stomach, so it's like whatever I'm immediately craving is coming to my mind right
Totally,
now.
totally.
Um, I'm trying to think. My career in a meal, I would say would be a pizza. because you can, in
Mm.
my
You
experience,
can never fail with pizza. Yeah,
you can never fail with pizza. Pizza has
totally,
always been something that brings joy.
totally.
And yeah, and sometimes it's incredible. And you do have the
Mm.
stringy cheese, and it's just like out of an advertisement. And when it's not like that, it's still delicious. So like pizza's always there for you, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you're full, if they're pizza, if they're like pizza on the fridge, you're like, I want to have a slice. A slice. Why not?
Yeah, there's the argument where people are like leftover pizza's better than fresh pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Pizza, yeah, right? So I feel like, and also you can get fancy. You can spice up a pizza. You can bedazzle it. You can add whatever you want to it. There's seafood pizza. There's pizza's so versatile. Like actors, we put on all the different toppings.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Wardrobe,
Interesting analogy. Yeah, yeah, I like it. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Sold. I love it.
One pizza and Caesar coming up.
There you go. There you go. Now, let's say that you had the opportunity to play this role, right? But you need to put it on an accent.
Okay.
So, on your experience now, how many accents would you say that you can, dominate? Or not dominate, but at least, you're like, okay, I can do this.
Yikes. See, but this is the thing, is that I feel like I could say, I could probably do this and it would be passable, but then I'm sure if somebody with that accent heard it, instantly they would be like,
Oh.
absolutely not,
Yeah, makes
Um,
sense.
but I think with I feel like I could do for sure a British accent, but I would also want to go to somebody to make sure that it sounds authentic and
Yeah,
not,
British is possible, and not.
you
Yeah,
know.
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
But I'm trying to think. I feel like as well. I can't remember why. Oh, I was chatting with a friend the other day, and we were quoting "Just Go With It," and she had told me that I did a really good German, but it's Nick Swardston's German accent. So I feel like that's very not authentic German at all. But if you need a Nick Swardston or like the Three Little Pigs from Shrek, like that style of an accent,
Mm,
I could knock that out of the park.
there you go.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I find accents like super hilarious because, for example, oh yeah, on Breaking Bad, when they were like putting scenes that they were in Mexico and you will have like these people talking Spanish, I was just laughing and I was like, nobody in Mexico speaks like that. I mean, come on. But I mean, I get it. I mean, it's like part of the whole scene, so I get it. But like
Yeah.
those type of films in which they will try to portray other cultures and try to embrace it with the accents and everything. I mean, I understand that perhaps for some people that's offensive. I don't get it. I mean, I do
Mhm.
consider that it's art and it's funny and it's how they did it. It's a whole stuff. But I do find it pretty cool whenever they will try to portray some like totally different culture and try like to embrace it and to play it. So I find
It's
it cool.
such a skill to be able to, I guess, learn. I mean, even you think of in with Robert De Niro, how he was fluent in Italian and he learned that for his role in
Godfather,
Godfather.
totally.
So I think it's something that I would love to do, and I want to be able. I think it's incredible when people can switch on a dime from accent
Mm,
to accent, and it sounds so believable. Like if you
totally.
met them and they were speaking to you in an Australian accent, you would have never known they were actually French. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it is just such a beneficial skill to have, and I think it would be. I would love to. I would really enjoy to work with a dialect coach down the road and strengthen that skill set for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember who was the actor? Is it Christian Bale? Yeah, right. He played the on the Dark Knight, American Psycho, right? I mean, Christian
Yeah,
Bale.
yeah, Christian Bale.
So it's so funny because the one day I was checking an interview with Ben Affleck in which when he was about to play Batman, that he ran up to him, and he didn't know that he was British. So that was pretty cool. That the fact
Yeah, I
that
think
he didn't expect that he was British at all. So that's pretty cool.
right, it's the best. Or even I find I'll watch things sometimes, and even for auditions, a lot of the time it'll say, "Please do with a American accent, a neutral American accent." So I'll watch things on TV or on a platform, And then when I'm researching or looking it up later on, you find out that one of the main actors is from somewhere completely different and has the thickest accent, and it's so cool because you don't
Totally.
pick that up at all when you're watching them. It's not an easy thing by any means. You know, my sister-in-law is British, and she's working on a project where she has to have a neutral accent too. And I remember early on, like helping her with auditions and with words, and friends of mine too, same sort of thing, like trying to remove your accent and take on an entirely new one, and then it sound believable. It's difficult for sure, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, so amazing. I love it. I love it. Now, moving up here a little bit. If you could get like any role, like right now, any role, which one would you choose? Any.
It's hard. I don't know if there's any specific one in my mind that jumps out. I think in terms of, I saw at TIFF, The Whale, which is Brendan Fraser is
Oh
in that,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he, I don't even know where to begin or how to properly articulate exactly what I experienced watching his performance, but I can't really say right now a specific character. All I can say is
Mm,
that whatever I do, I want it to be as powerful as that. I want to be able to achieve that level of artistry, or to be
yeah.
able to, I was so blown away by it. I was like weeping in the theater, and his character just had such depth and empathy, and I'm gonna start crying now. um, but I think as long as I would be able to do something of that caliber, it doesn't matter what the character is, as long as the performance is like
Oh.
that, you know?
Mm,
As long as
mm.
I can as long as I can leave my mark like that on somebody watching it.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are totally giving epic answers. I'm loving this. This is super
Yeah.
cool. And
Even though it didn't include Vaseline.
that's the that's the best part. Now I know that if I want to apply the whole Alia style, I need gasoline. You got it.
It's a secret. The acting
That's a
trick.
secret. Now, I mean about the whale, and also about the whole like Brendan Fraser. You know that I mean because let's be honest, it was like 10 years, right? That we didn't heard about anything about him, and now that he come back and he mentioned, like all the backstory behind of it and all of the constant. I loved him. I basically grew up watching the Mummy films. I'm a huge fan of them. I still watch them every now and then, of course, because they're amazing. And to see
Yeah.
him, as he mentioned, to have to kind of be away from a bit and now being back to it, and I even saw this video on YouTube in which he was receiving like a whole standing ovation.
Mm,
it was impossible not to cry. Let's face it, like that, like all of that emotion, and for him to be like so humble about it and to be like so.
totally.
Yeah, it also got me cry. It's impossible. I get it.
Yeah, it is a triumphant return, and I am here for it. I
Totally.
love Brendan Fraser. He's incredible.
Yeah, if he's ever watching this at some point,
Yes.
man, I've been trying to have an interview, but anyway, link in the description below. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Like, share,
amazing.
and subscribe.
Yeah, please do, and someone sponsors that will be amazing too. But yeah, it's so cool the fact that he was able to be back, and he did it in a very cool way. And I do think that when you do things by heart and when you do things with full honest of it,
Hmm.
I do think that that's when you get the best results. And
Totally.
people feel it. People instantly notice like this is amazing. This guy's really putting their soul to it. It's super cool. So yeah, I get it. I love it.
Hmm.
Now moving up here. Next question. From all of the characters you have played at the moment, all of them.
Yeah.
If you could choose one to go out for to have some drinks, which character would you take with you to go a party?
I would take Taz Conway.
Mm.
We just actually wrapped I think 2 weeks ago now. it was a rom-com that we shot, and drinks, my Taz Conway was a bartender in New York City, so I feel like
There
she
you
would
go.
have that covered. But yeah, the character was just so fun and carefree and sarcastic and witty, and just always it was just always enjoyable playing her and riffing as her, and I think that she would be the best person to share some drinks with, or spend a night with, you know?
Okay, I'll take that. Sounds like a
Yeah.
plan. And my last question here is, what motivates you? You know, we all have those days that we just want to quit. You know, that we start to get like this toxic idea in our head that we're not good enough, that we basically suck, that we have waste time, money. Anyway, so my question here is, what gets you out of those, out of those toxic thoughts, and pushes you back on this journey that you have created for so many years now?
Hmm. Think like what we were talking about before with different projects. I guess experiencing different things that really inspire you, different performances that reaffirm why you're doing what you do
Yeah.
and where you want your career to go. I think that that is a huge motivator in it. Um, and I think too, just sometimes depending on different life experiences and stories that we have, that we feel we want to be able to share with friends, family, and then some, and have our voices heard and connect on a deeper level with people, and help them maybe even in some way. I'm drawn to comedies, and I have been from such a young age. And I think it's because, life at times can be quite heavy, especially like, with bullying, with anything, with the stress of the world right now, that it's lovely to be able to just turn your brain off and laugh, and to be able to create something that brings joy to you, but then also extends and helps other people. That's a huge motivator too.
Mm. Preach.
I hope, did I answer your question?
Oh yeah, of course you do. You kidding me?
Okay.
you,
Okay.
yeah, you, yeah, that's amazing. And now I'm speechless. But I love it. It's super cool. Because you basically speak all through here. Yeah. It's
Little
amazing.
did you know it's all been a lie.
That would, I mean, that would be like a very, that would,
And
that would be cool. Epic plot twist. We'll leave it.
Yeah.
We'll leave it on a cliffhanger. Season 2 coming later, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Yeah. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I love what you do. I love all of the energy you put to it, like all of your the vibe you have. I mean, it's amazing. I love your career. It's super cool. It's epic, but also the fact that you are creating it because you love it. You know, as simple and as simple as it may sound, you are doing it, you are making it happen, and we all know that is super hard, and it takes years and moments in which you are thinking about quitting, like quit or not, but you're still there. It's super cool, and who knows, I'm super sure that our next conversation is going to be, so we got 3 options. The first one, I'm sure that our next conversation is going to be about where I can put my next award on the wall because it's full now, the second one might be check out my new my own action figure for this movie that I got. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Or the third option, which would be a little bit of both.
I like all of that.
Oh.
I'm not picky. I'll take any of the 3.
Yeah, let's take it. And
Yeah.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for giving me the time to make this happen. This is definitely epic. I love it. Definitely an epic way to continue have an epic Sunday, as I said before. Keep killing it. Keep inspiring, because I'm super sure that besides giving us amazing content, I'm super sure that there are hundreds of people out there who sees you as an inspiration and who can definitely rely on you and be like, if she can do it, I can do it too. Because as I said, it's not easy, but you are there, and I think that's proof enough for everyone else to be like, dreams can be possible. So keep doing it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely. Also, I want to thank those who watched this episode. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to subscribe, follow, leave a like. I mean, I'm still working on my outro, so it's a work in process. But just follow. It will help me a lot. But also, the video's over, so make sure to go follow Alia like right now. I mean, let's make her viral. Hashtag Team Alia, because she's amazing. She's awesome. Let's make sure everybody in the world knows how awesome she is. And again, thank you so much. Have an incredible Sunday. Keep killing it. Keep inspiring. Keep being a badass. And I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you. Sounds good.
All right.